Hello. Hello. Welcome. Oh, next fest is over, and it's time to get back to game dev. We've gotten quite a bit into stage 2 for our dungeon crawl, and during next fest, Godot 4.7 came out. Woo. Most of the features don't apply to us, but a few of them might. There was one about control nodes. Control nodes can now have a offset. They don't have to. They can move in a way that does not move the children. That might matter. And there's this new little drawable texture 2D object, which maybe we can take advantage of for like putting a model into the game, and then the player is able to paint that model. I don't know. I updated to 4.7. This is 4.7 Godot engine. It looks like it works. I don't think there were any issues. It was a lot smoother of an update than from 4.5 to 4.6. Doing that broke the navigation regions for me. Not a problem for this transition. I have made a few offline updates. This looks a little bit different than the last time I streamed. Boop. I've been toying around with the long-range plan stage 2. I've done a few things offline. I added coins. I added water tiles. Coins, water tiles. They don't do anything. But I drew the art and I put the art in the game. Water tiles were a lot easier than I thought they would be because collisions and occlusion are actually different things in the tile map layer. And I had forgotten that fact. So if you want to set rendering, nope. Physics. Physics is the collision layer. And one of these is definitely not. Yeah, this is set to collision, but somewhere in here is an occlusion layer, and I did not set that. Oh, it's here. Yeah. You can see the occlusion layer on this. There's a navigation layer. Where's the occlusion layer? Oh, rendering. No, it's not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Occlusion layer. It's different. So that took me a while to just say, this is actually super easy to do. I added the respawn shrine, which is just an image. It doesn't do anything. There's no respawning. And I also added glowing hands. I don't think they are in the game, but we can set a little flag on this hand, and it will start glowing. So that if we're a fighter, we have regular hands. If we're a mage, we have glowy hands. That's it. I also added the trails. They don't fully work yet, but they're in. And I added wall lights, and they're functional. They're not. That's placeholder art. You probably can't see it. It's this thing. Yeah. It'll be good to get into the groove of things and get working on this list. I'm going to be doing a lot more things offline just to like keep development going, because I would like for this to be done before the end of the month, and the end of the month is in 5 days, and this is a lot of things to do. So probably not going to get there, but if we can get done like first week of July, at the end of the first week of July, that's fine. So we need to get going. I'm going to be adding 2 things today, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I'm going to add a function that lets us use items on items. The only thing I have right now that will take advantage of that function is keys. We should be able to use them on doors. And now that I say that, an item is not a mechanism, and a mechanism is not an item. Those are distinct. So we'll add a use item on item command and item on mechanism command. We'll have both of those because I do want to have the ability to use items on items. I think that's going to be important for crafting purposes. At the very least, we want to be able to use the empty bottle to get liquids. And that should include being able to use it on like a bucket or on like on a source of fluid. And then the other thing I want to add is item stacking. So I added coins, but only 1 coin, 1 inventory slot, and that's dumb. We don't want that. I would like to be able to put 255 coins into an item slot. That way we can just scatter coins throughout the level, and then we can make collecting them like part of your loot. And that's fun. Also being able to stack potions, being able to stack bread. Something should be stackable, something shouldn't. We'll need to add a item flag. It's like stackable. Yeah. Maybe that's a variable that we set to 1 by default, and we can make each item decide what its stackability should be. That might be the way to go. If we get those 2 things, we're good. We'll need to add player KOs and deaths. KOs and deaths. I think this is important in a multiplayer game, to be in a state where you are dying but not dead yet and give your allies an opportunity to save you. I think that's more important than a lot of other multiplayer mechanics. And then we'll just add torso, legs, and feet slot. And these are... We're just adding the pictures for now, I think. I put 2 stars here. I don't know why I did that. I should have... I think I did that because I thought this would be a hard thing. And it's only a hard thing if it means we're not just drawing pictures and adding them to the slots. We're actually making them functional, which I should separate that out. Make body slots matter. We'll do that separate. So this will be easy, and this I might even do offline, but this is what we're going to be doing. Next stream. Assuming we get through this, let's get through it right now. My expectation is that we should be able to use keys on doors. So I know I said use item on items. We're going to actually implement use items on mechanism first. Sup, Dreads? Hey, Bone Circuit. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. How you been? We're going to get started. Right now, items don't have a use feature. The way items work is if the item exists, if the key exists in your inventory, that's it. That's all you need. The door will take care of the rest. We're going to move a little ahead of that. We are going to make it so that when you use this, we need to get the game in a state where it is going to use the item on something else. So we actually need a game state now, which I was kind of hoping we could avoid doing that. Lots of nothing today. Ooh. Some days that's a good thing. Some days it's not. I hope it was a good thing for you. We can set it up so that we're only locking up the mouse. So, where's my input handler? Input handler needs to be state aware now. So we've got, if we've got unhandled input, and then we left click on something, wait, where's our left click? Oh, is this? Command 2. Oh, okay. So if we're left clicking on a if event.isAction pressed UI accept, or event is mouse left button and event.is pressed. How does this not trigger whenever we click on the UI? Like if I click here, I'm not moving. Oh, I am moving. Huh. That also means this is getting intercepted. If I click on this, Oh, we could create a new handler, a game state handler. I don't want to call it that. That's dumb. We could call it, we could just stick it to the input handler and tell the input handler to maintain a state of handling input. Where else am I handling input? Input. I am a bit confused. Why does clicking on this cause me to move, but like clicking anywhere else does not? So if I click between the gaps, that should be getting intercepted. Maybe it's not getting intercepted. It's still unhandled input. You could put it in a camera container. I'd have to make one. Where this so the UI element here on VBox container GUI element. Are we ever setting that signal? I have a scene for this. UI element. There it is. All right. Show me the inspect. Why is the inspector useless? Show me the signals. Okay, I never set a signal. I never set a signal. Oh, there's a signal, but it's only on the VBox container. Okay, so if we're clicking on the 9-path rect or above, this never gets triggered. It's unhandled input. Therefore, yeah. Maybe we should move this signal up. Go to source. Go to... How do I... Okay, how do I... Am I connecting it to this? Oh. Oh. Can we not call it that? All right. Let's disconnect that and connect that. And this should function the same. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. It's still a problem. Why is it exactly the same problem? Why is the UI leaky? Is it? Let's call it this. Oh, we're not even getting to that function. That function doesn't matter. That function is useless, actually. Is it because we have the signal set to ignore or something like that? Is there some, oh, mouse filter behavior pass? No, there's probably a reason it's set to ignore. It's probably for drag and drop purposes. Oh. What? VBox container. Oh. Yeah. This should probably 9-patch rect / VBox container. Yep. Why is that failing? Oh. Right. What? How did this ever work? These have never been correct. What? These have always been... Huh? How did those ever work? Okay, double click. Maybe I just never tested that feature because they were always pointing to the wrong thing that never existed. Okay, so clicking here. Shouldn't this count as handled input? Maybe it doesn't. Okay. So that definitely is intercepting all input. But now I probably can't. Oh, this still works? Okay. Okay, let me try. Yeah, no, this still works. Everything's great still. I'm a little confused, but you know what? I'm getting there. Let's go ahead and actually do the thing that we meant ourselves to do. No more distraction. No more until they're 20 minutes in and I haven't even started. Yeah. This is going to be a productive stream. Back to the item. We need this to... I'm just going to put it in the input handler. No, I should not do that. I should not do that. We should have a state handler of some kind. No, because it's an input state, so it does make sense to put in the input handler. I'll figure it out. Var state equals state. I can't do that. Enum. No, it's going to be an int, but we need to have like a enum state. Use item on. Okay, so if we right click on a thing, we can say, if we right click on a key, we can tell it change the state to use item on. And doing that, we can set this, we can have a setter here that says, if we're doing that, we need to change the cursor to blah. Let's just change it to the Godot icon. I don't know how to do that. Godot set mouse cursor. Let me just move this over here real quick. Just in case Google. All right. Customizing the mouse cursor. Set custom mouse cursor. What's the default? Oops. The default is no cursor. Okay. So if I set it to nothing, does that... What does that do? I'll just set it to 0, cursor arrow. Cursor shape, cursor arrow. Oh, I could set it to a cursor cross for when we have the thing, and then I'll set it to cursor arrow when we're done with the thing. So How do I do that? Custom mouse cursor, input.ibeam. Is the cursor shape a property? What is mouse mode? Controls the mouse mode. What is mouse mode? Oh, I think I've done this. I think I did this for the Wolfenstein. Like, I've already forgotten. We don't really think about that once we've implemented that, huh? Set custom mouse cursor. Do I need to set a resource? Because I would prefer just to set the shape. I'm not entirely... Okay. Godot cursor shapes. What are cursor shapes? Why is there a get cursor shape, but not a set cursor shape? Where does this cursor shape come from? How good are the docs? I made them into a mind map in Google Notebook. I'm for super fast reference. The EPUB has more than HTML zip. I'm not sure if that would help just overall, because I feel like if you know the mind map, yeah, you're good. But if you don't know, like, the discoverability of the information that you need, I wonder how that impacts that. How? Okay. How to change the type of the mouse cursor. That's what I want to know. Set default cursor shape. Maybe that would work. Let's try that. All right. Let's just try it and find out. All right, we should be able to move this over here. If we uncomment this out, if x equals state dot use item on mouse shoot input dot set default cursor shape input dot cursor cross. And then we'll set state equals x. else x equals state dot normal. Okay, so if we set the state to use item on, that should affect the mouse. And then if we left click anywhere or right click anywhere while we're in this state, we should see if we clicked on an item or mechanism. And if we did, we should track the item that we're using the item on. So we'll need to have a state tracker, basically. And then we'll call that item's use item on function. Yeah, that should work. That should be it. That should be it. What I just said should be all that we need to do. Let's do it. Var mouse state data. Yeah. And then we'll make we should not directly interact with these. We should actually make a function and then interact with that. Function set mouse state. Mouse state param int mouse state equals mouse state param mouse state det param. Okay, why do that? It'll make sense someday. It'll make sense a month from now when we're like confused and we look and we see a function and we're like, this function has a very long name and it's very evocative and descriptive. It's for future me, okay? That's why we did it. Doing it like that. We need to go into the item and we need to tell us to set the mouse state. We need to make sure that we're doing that on the client, not the server. So, when we right click on an object, there is a variable that we've given ourselves somewhere. One of these has it. Is it the torch? Sword? Shield? Key? Oh, geez. Okay. It might be in the commands. Use item? If target.itemdata.use client. Use client is what we need. We need to set that so that we execute this on the client and not the server. Do I have that variable already defined? I might. Yes, and it's set to default. False by default. So let's go into the key. We'll set this to true. And then dot set mouse. Hello? Autocomplete? I just made this function. What do you mean you can't autocomplete it? Set mouse state. should call this mouse state, not state. Let's call it use on, not use item on. Just in case it matters. There's no reason for us to lock ourselves in like that. Save and go back to here. Mouse state dot use on. Should I be setting that here? Maybe I shouldn't. Whatever. No. Okay, I need to pick a name that says this is the thing that is using param. Thing using thing. Okay, so all this should be done. All we need to do now is right click on this. Non-existent function set mouse state. Right, I renamed it. All right. Well, that's not indicative of anything. Use on is not a good name for this. We're here. Oh, there it works now. Oh, it just doesn't work over here. Oh. Shoot. Well, that puts us in trouble. I did not know that's how the mouse worked. That's cool that that's how it works because I would like to be able to have a contextual like only do this over UI elements that can contain items. The problem is this is an element that can contain a UI item. So okay, maybe there's a way to look up how to solve this problem. What is that? setting the mouse cursor across multiple. Whatever. Let's just put a to-do for ourselves. To do, figure out how to handle the mouse cursor correctly. Because that's going to be a headache. And I bet I could watch several hours of Google video, YouTube video. How are we going to make this work? Because if I click on a go to the UI inventory point. We need to set this up to check what the input handler mouse mode is. And if the input handler mouse mode is use on, then instead of, when we left click, instead of doing whatever it does, which is nothing, it looks like. If the event is right click, that should be doable. That should be doable. Let's go to the input handler and write up a quick little function. Okay. If event is action pressed, UI accept. I don't know why I did that, because I don't know what UI accept is. But it's only here. Does that just... Oh, why is this on this screen? Did I name something UI accept? I didn't even name anything UI accept. What is UI accept? What is this is action pressed UI accept? That's not a thing I've ever defined. I'm tempted to just delete it. Let me just double check. Yeah, no, we have options and RCM. We'll re-add it if we need it. Let me just verify that I didn't blow something up by doing this. And we can still click. Okay. If mouse state what have I called it? It equals mouse state dot use on and event is a left click. Then we should see what we're left clicking on. So we get the right click component. Maybe this should be a separate function. We should decompose this out into a function. Things for me to do offline. So we get the mouse position. We do an intersect point. And then there's no world where we're clicking on the RCM, so we don't need to worry about that. We can just focus strictly on, did we click on an object? but we're not calling an attack command, a get item command, or a use mechanism command. We're actually going to ignore if we try and use an item on... We could use items on people? Why not? Why shouldn't we be able to do that? If we want to go down that route, we could. We could make it so that I can use healing potions on other people. And I could implement, like, use, huh. No, I was just thinking, like, what if I had a thing where I had traps and I could use the trap, but I need to be able to use that on the ground. Oh no. I need to think about my state a little more deeply. But the idea of being able to, like, take an item and use it on a creature makes perfect sense to me. That seems very valuable to have as a feature. We'll need that feature at some point. So I probably want to have that. I need to be able to differentiate that state. So we might have use on, and then we have use on ground. Yeah. Let's just do that for now. We'll to do if we need to be able to use items on ground. Maybe we want to be able to, like, pour like acid on the floor or start a fire on the floor. There's reasons to that, but there are also reasons to not let you do that if the item doesn't, like, logically let you do that. Like, I shouldn't be able to use a healing potion on the floor because well, that's silly. Like, the user, if the user submits that command, they probably made a mistake. They probably misclicked. So we should keep that separate. They definitely should not be able to use a key on the floor. But let's go ahead and write this out. So we need to add new commands at this point and implement them here. Create new command. Use on actor command. Is there any reason to separate that out? They could just all be a use on command. Use on command. I don't know why I separated out use item versus use mechanism command, but there's probably a reason for that. Different function. Yeah, it should probably be use item on target, and then we will have a use mechanism on target if we need to. Yeah, that's fine. And this can be anything. Is that a problem? It shouldn't be. As long as the name is correct, that shouldn't be a problem. We should be able to just pass in the name of the target, and then the server should be able to figure out everything from there. All right. Okay, and now we need items to have the use on function. We can just call it desk target at this point. No reason to shorten it. User destination target user. All right, and then we need to define that function in the item data. Is there a particular value in making abstract functions versus just defining the function here in item data and then overwriting it? I feel like that's more efficient, because having to go through every single item and add a ton of functions is very annoying, and I don't understand the advantage of abstract functions over that, unless it's something that I want to force myself to have to think about. Ground feels refreshed for 7 points of mana. Use items mechanism, an item with more than one feature. Words are very hard. It's hard naming things. Because I actually want it to be not every item can be used on other items. So I would like it to be a thing where if it's not set, you can't do it. And if you can't do it, then don't bother implementing the function. Maybe I don't need to implement it here, and I'll just var usable on equals false. Func use on. There's one way to learn the best way, and that is to just do it, and then if you're wrong, take your lumps. So let's do it. Actor destination target item pass. Don't do anything. Okay, and then we should actually check it here. Dot, what was the name of the variable we just found? Usable on others. Yeah, and this function doesn't exist. Yeah, that's okay. I would like the key to be an example of a function that can be used on others. So let's go ahead and usable on others equals true. And then we need to take this function that we just defined and copy it in and make it actually do. At this point, we have a user, we have the key, and we have a target. Maybe these should be swapped. And then I have to swap them everywhere. Because of course. Okay, we don't need to swap this. Argument 1 should be actor, but is item? Oh, I got these backwards. Okay. This is better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and then we go into our key. I assume items are going to be a Godot resource. The item data is a Godot resource. The item itself is a scene. I think we need to... Did I already swap this around? Just copy and paste. Okay, everything's set up. We're good now. We have the behavior that we want. We want to be able to say, is the target a door? If target is door, how are we making our key realize that the key and the door are aligned? How does that work? Because I thought that was through the set flag, and the set flag here is set to ignore. Huh. You can get some grommet to fill in the items or spreadsheet them to manage before insertion with something like CSV. Well, I got to define the functions first before I go down that road. But how? Okay, so all items have a flag. I'm setting the flag. That exists. That might exist outside of this item data. I might just get that for free. Yeah, I get that for free. So this is just extra. If I have any extra that I need, you know what? Let me just leave it to do for myself. Make item data dot set flag not abstract. Quick look can be abstract. Init can be abstract. Use can be abstract. Actually, maybe use shouldn't be abstract either. But init should be abstract. I think every item, I can deal with every item needing an init because I need to set the texture. Yeah. Okay, so that's a good example of something that should be abstract. But use actually does not. to do make item data dot use not abstract either. Put a default function in item data and then erase the unneeded ones. Because we've got some functions like use, well, this one actually does something, but this one's just a pass. We should probably do the same. Oh yeah, I probably do not need all these functions. Get sprite does not need to be abstract. How did I get away with it here? I don't know. This one, that looks fine. This is mobs are good. And then we're not even in sprite world right now. Okay, now that I've set that to do, we can just ignore the little tingle in the back of my brain that says this is bad and move on. We've got our key. We have a flag. We do have a flag, so we should be able to go if the target is a door, if item dot flag equals target dot flag door dot unlock target dot item data dot unlock. Like, we should be able to do that. And I don't have that defined. Func door. Toggle door. And then we don't need to search for keys. We can just have a state here that's like, sup, I'm locked. You can't use me. Oh, I'm unlocked. You can use me now. That will require me getting new sprites, door sprites, to have locked door and unlocked door, so you can tell the difference. Maybe we even have some animation going on so that, like, when you unlock the door, like, the door lock falls off the door, and when you lock it, you actually see like a little padlock clicking. I don't know. That's maybe a bit too far. I'm not going to be drawing this, so whatever art I can scrounge up, maybe we can make that a thing, and we can always lerp it into if we'd like. We can maybe make the lock a separate sprite, and then it just pops into existence and then pops out of existence. We could have two sprites. Yeah, we could do that. Why not? Whatever. Don't hallucinate too hard. For now, I'm just gonna make the key, the function that the key's calling exist. Unlock. Print. We're unlocked. Yay. Okay. We're not done. Because I believe this is a function being called from this should be being called from the server, but we need to RPC it. We need to make an RPC that do that. So we're a key. This is being done on the client. This shouldn't be done on the client, but we need a separate variable, use on client. And then we'll go into the command. One D array in each slot. Use on client, else RPC use on. I don't know which slot you're referring to. We have to make this function exist. That should be easily done. Where's our use item? Why is it down here? Func use item on. Okay. Our source target equals input handler dot main dot get node. There it is. Grab that, put that source target. Var dest target equals okay, and then we simply go source target dot use on get sender player node dest target. Done, we did it. All right, we should be set. We should let's see if we're set. So we grab this key. This isn't right. What mode are we in? Oh, I was not done because the input handler, we never actually switched to using the command that we just defined. Player mouse state data. Collider.execute. Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum. Clear all this out. Print use on format mouse state data collider. Shouldn't there be a thing that's like return? Like we're done? Otherwise, I could have this collide on multiple things. Why shouldn't this return? But we're not done. We do need to reset the mouse. Set mouse normal. Did I call it normal? Yeah, I did call it normal. All right. Mouse state data equals null. We should actually do this up here. We're gonna set the mouse normal no matter what. So if I right click here and then I left click, yeah, we should have broken out of that. We shouldn't have moved. Yeah, there we go. Okay. We're here. Is that the function? Is that the print that I... Nope. I know we're here. I don't need that. I need the door to say, you unlocked. Oh, that's... Okay, let's go back. Are we calling the right function? I don't think so, because we're never calling... Where's the input handler? For some reason, we're never getting to this print line. Because this is a static body 2D. This is not an actor, item, or mechanism. Oh. Why is it a static body 2D? Why is it? Oh, is it because that's the part of the mechanism I'm clicking on. What if we said dot get parent? What if we said that? I don't want the collider. I want the parent attached to the collider. Give me the key. You use the key. That didn't work. What is this? Print. This is a collider. Give me the key. This is a 11 mech static body 2D. Okay. This is a game. Really? The parent of the static body 2D is the game? We got to hear? I'm very certain that the thing I'm clicking on is not a static body 2D. It is a mechanism. So what is, this is a static body 2D, but it's actually a mechanism. Oh, wait a minute. This extends node 2D, but it should extend static body 2D. Is that a mistake? Hold on. Have I just been making a huge mistake? Mob extends actor. Does actor extend? Actor extends character body 2D. Okay, so that's correct. Rename it. Well, let me fix this. Spell is a node. That's a node. That is correct. Player is, it's probably an actor, right? Yeah, okay, that's correct. Were items correct? Items are an animatable body 2D. And they're an animatable body 2D. Okay, so this has just been named wrong this whole time. Oh. Awkward. This is a game. Can I go to the item? Nope. The input handler. There we go. Don't get the parent, because that's apparently the universe. Still a static body 2D. I know how to fix that. Congrats, you're an item now. And then we'll go to here. Congrats, you're a mechanism now. Why is it a node 2D? Oh, okay, it's just the editor is catching up. And then you're a mob. What? Cannot set objects to your script. Actor should not be abstract. What? I can't do this if that... What? Oh no, it did work. This is a mob. Why is this a problem? Is it a problem? Maybe it's not a problem. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. All right, and props don't have a script apparently. It's fine. Decos are decos. Yeah, all right, that should solve everything. All problems solved forever. 10 out of 10 game development time. This is still a static body 2D. Why? Why is that the case? I don't understand. Okay, well, scratch all that. How are you referencing it? I'm using this function right here, physics point query parameter 2D, and then we're calling get global mouse position, and then we're seeing what we clicked on with this function, and then that's this right here. So that's how we're getting there. I don't know why it's coming out like that. If I use it on me, I'm a character body 2D. That's a static body. That's static body. That's an animatable body. Why is this an animatable body? This is an item. I thought items were static bodies too. No, they're animatable bodies. Okay, whatever. You might want to reference by group in that name. Reference what by group? Something to do here? Select one or more nodes to edit their group. I don't know anything about this at all. If there's like a little cheat code, I can just do a quick Godot. Adding a node to a new group name. During design, you create a node in the scene doc and then click the add. You can see this create new group mode will appear. While the group name, write the group name in the field. Scene groups cards. All groups present in the project will be visible under global groups. Okay. You can manage global groups in the groups tab of the globals doc inside project. Okay. So I can create a group items. And then I put the item in the items. How do I do that? It's like a label. Oh, then I go to the item. Oh, this is a member of items. Okay, I see. Do I see? I was almost there. I was looking at decos. Yeah, no, you're not an item. Get out of here. Okay, so you are an item. And then how do I reference that? How do I see if something is a item? Maybe in this function there's something. Physics point query parameter 2D. Did I miss? No, that's spelled correctly. What? My turn to sort out dinner. Have fun. Get group. Collide with bodies. What's the function I'm calling? I'm calling intersect point, direct space state dot intersect point. Oh, this is the location of the collision. This isn't the actual collision. So Godot get world 2D. This gives us a direct space state. And then we're calling intersect point. So this is the colliding object ID. So maybe we need to look in object. Godot object. Group. Get group of object. This looks like this person is doing the exact same thing that I need. I have a grappling hook that needs to know the group of the thing it collides with, but for some reason the code returns the group of the hook. Oh. Is in group. Okay. I don't see how this helps me. Get parent.isInGroup. I mean, I'm not entirely sure why this isn't working. The problem is I'm supposed to be getting the collider object. And that is the object, but the object is not being cast as the right object. It's being cast as a static body 2D or an animatable body 2D, but it's not. Just get rid of this. It's an item. It contains a static body 2D, but it also contains an animatable body 2D. Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of mechanisms. I should be, if I call like get class, I should get the class mechanism. I shouldn't get the class static body 2D. Get script.get global name. Does that work? No, that probably won't work. Yeah, I need to make this a function call because duh. This is a mechanism. This is a item. If my object is custom class. The problem is it's not working. Or is it? Actually, wait a minute. Is the problem not that this is an animatable body 2D in the print? Is mechanism. Will this print true if I right click or if I try to use this on a mechanism? This is a true. Okay, so it is a mechanism. This is just nonsense. This is a false. So the problem isn't that these objects aren't being respected. The problem is that this line right here doesn't work. Which also means that my changes to these, this being a player, this being an atom, those were pretty unnecessary, I'm guessing. This just never worked. Godot match case against class type. Type of? That's a function? No. Match thing.getScript. Could try that. Yes. That's the thing. Use item null on 12 mech. Why are we null? We shouldn't be null. Set mouse use on. Is that not happening? Let's go to the key. Yeah, I should be passing the item in. Yes, that's correct. Are we... Oh, I know what it is. We're clearing this too early. Yeah. We're calling set mouse normal before we're ready for it. Okay. I thought I was being clever. But I was not. Okay, we're using item 55 item on 11 mech. Yeah, that's what I want to see. All right. We're still not calling the function unlock the door. Why is that? Oh. Okay, let's go to the command. Let's just start print lining. Okay. How far into this are we getting? Boom. We're getting here and here. Okay. Are we getting to this RPC handler use item on? We're getting here and we're getting here. Okay. Are we getting to this use on function in the item? We're also getting here. Okay, so We're getting to the key. Oh, you know what the problem might be? If target is door, if target.getScript is door. Uh, I think I know the problem. It shouldn't be target. It should be target.getData. Yeah. There we go. Uh-oh. Oh, this thing may not have item data. Ah. Shoot, we don't know what this is. This could be anything. Oh, this is why I would want to have an item, use on mechanism, use on actor. That's why. So that we can guarantee an item data, or we can guarantee whatever function we need. Oh man. I mean, I guess we can do that. I'm just trying to think. Is there any alternative? Because there is an advantage to having just a use on universal function, and then we just be able to take anything. But the only way we can check what the class, what we're looking at, is by looking at the class. And the only way we can check the class is if we get the item data. Actually, doors are not items, so that would never work. So it actually, maybe this is fine. Maybe what we actually want to do is mech data. That's messy. This is messy. It didn't crash. We're unlocked. Yay, that was it. Okay. So, what we could do is we could define a get data function and then implement it for everything. Get data, and then it'll return the data. And then we can just, if target.getData is door, and then we're done. Mobs have data too, right? That might be an important thing. Mobs have data, but players do not. My data is... not. Huh. It's going to be really annoying that I can't just say uh actually let me test something. Let me test something because this is really annoying and something I should try and take steps to solve because this is going to be a problem for future me. Print. This is a mechanism. Target is mechanism. If that's true, we're good. Let's move on. If that's false, I really need to give myself a way to make that obvious for future me that that is not the function. Oh, that's true. Okay, we're good. Let's just move on. Actually, we're fine. Don't worry about me. Let's make a function in everything that's not a player. Func get data, return data. Where's my get sprite function? I don't have one? Ooh. Okay, and I don't think we need... I know spells have data. Yeah, let's just... Func... Spell data. So this is actually not a resource, this is a spell data. Did I do that for all of them? This is a mob data. Okay, not a resource. This will be helpful for future me. Mech data, yeah. Item data. Deco data. Okay, great. So now we go to our key and we can make our key a lot simpler. If target dot get data is door. Great. This should be robust. So we tried to, it's not a door. That's literally nothing. That's an item. That I can't use myself. Oh no, there we go. Didn't work. We're unlocked, yay. Okay, before print target data. Just to verify, this should be in a state that future me will be able to figure out what I have done. This is a resource. This is a resource. Yeah, that's a resource, but it's also a door. The system works. All right, let's move on. I need to implement a door state. We already have locked and unlocked, so... I don't... I think I don't want to go further until I add a way to actually label the key flag and the door flag to the player. Because I don't want, like, here's 8 keys. Only one of them will unlock this door. I think it is actually important that we be able to right click on the door to unlock it. So I just need to add a state. I'm going to put this in a to-do and then do it offline. To-do, add lock state for door. And it's important to note that we already have a lock state. But the way that we're using it is not the way that it needs to be used going forward. Because locked just means we ignore uses unless the user has a key in their inventory that matches us. But that's not what we want. We want this to say ignore uses if we are in the locked state. And the key should be able to lock us and unlock us. I don't think I want the player to be able to lock the door without the key. I think we can just accept that and move on. And then we just need to communicate to the player when a door is locked or not. And then we're done. Why don't I just do that offline? I think that's just mainly drawing the art and then just plugging the art into here and then making changing the, because I just have a print here, but the function is simple. We're just going to set locked to 0. Yeah. And we may want to put a thing here. Unlock is also lock. So I might rename this to toggle lock. Go back to the key. And maybe we pass in the item. We pass in the key to the door. All right, and then we'll just make that function a thing. It's not going to be hard. And then we've got keys being able to use on doors to unlock them. But we will also keep this fancy little function where if I have a key in my inventory and I just want to open this door, I just right click on it and move on. I don't have to do this shenanigans. This feature is it'll come in handy in the future. We're going to put that semi-done because it is semi-done. It might not be done until we actually implement. Later on this list, I've got basic crafting. I think we need to implement a cauldron. We will make the use item on item command functional there. And then we can mark this done. Let's do one more thing before I quit. Item stacking. So I would like to be able to, maybe I should actually put a separate thing here. Item stacking, item splitting. Because, well, you know, both of those are important and one kind of implies the other, but it doesn't actually imply the other. Anyway, what I need to be able to do is if the item is stackable, I could make a group for that, but I don't particularly know if that's advantageous. I don't know if, first of all, can resources have a group? I could move this as a group. That's not particularly, let me make a to-do for myself. I would imagine that's actually inefficient. From a optimization standpoint, that's actually not efficient. But what I can do is I can have a stackable number. And then if we want this particular item to be more stackable, we will just change that in the items init. So let's do coins. Yeah, stackable. Stack limit. Okay. And then what we do is there are going to be two ways that we stack items. So one is when we drag an item onto another item. If they're the same item and if they're stackable, if combining them does not exceed their stack limit. No, I shouldn't even do that. If I have two items and I drag them on top of each other and then I should make a stack, put as much of the second item into the first item as possible, and if that doesn't exceed the stack limit, put it all in there. If it does exceed the stack limit, make two items, but like distribute the stack size between them, and then we're good there. The other thing is, if I pick up an item and there's a stack of in my inventory already of that item, just add it to that stack instead of adding it to an empty slot in my inventory. So if I have 5 coins in my inventory and I pick up a 6th coin, it should go into the stack. Those are the only two behaviors I need to define. And I think in order to make that happen, I need to create a new item. Is a stack an item, or is a stack... Is it such that every item can be a stack? And then I just need to add a few functions to my item. How best to do this? What is the best way to represent a stack of items in code? Because like a stack of items is an item. That makes perfect sense to me. It shouldn't be... I should be able to use a stack, but I should be able to use a stack like it's that item. But if I have a stack of like 10 potions, I shouldn't drink all 10 potions by using it. I should just drink 1 potion. So, okay. This is a problem if items have state. Do I have any items that have a state? Yes, torches. So I need to make sure that any item that has a state doesn't stack. Just that cannot be a thing that is allowed to happen. So some items can stack. Health potions makes sense. But it's something that should be if I have different strengths of healing potion, those shouldn't stack with each other, even though they're both healing potions. So maybe we have a function that's like can stack, and then in that function, in every item data, we have a can stack function, and then we say if we have any states that we need to compare, we compare them, and if they compare favorably, then we say, okay, you can stack. So bread and coins should be able to stack. Blank runes should be able to stack. Things that don't have state should be able to stack. We can start there, and I don't think it'll be that painful if we have to go back and add a function to handle stacking things that have the same state. So we could do is we could say any item can stack. Any item can be a stack. If we do, I gotta make this quick look function better. Man, my to-do list is getting insanely long to do. Make quick look work with stacks. Okay. So we could define a variable stack quantity. And every item is a stack of 1 by default. Okay. Let's just do it. Var stack quantity int equals 1. Everything starts as a stack of 1. Don't I have a quick look function here? Oh, I do. Oh, that's going to be a pain to figure out. Okay. Okay, let's go to the function where drag and drop item drag and dropping is handled. Let's go there first. UI element on drag. Nope, this is not where that is. UI inventory point. This is probably it. It's yeah. Let me drop data. Okay, swap items. Swap items may actually combine items instead. So we're just calling a swap command. Let's go to the swap command. Oh, we're going to make this more complicated? Oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate this. This is already a gnarly function. Okay, we're just calling swap items here. Okay. Maybe we can save ourselves some pain. If these items are the same thing. And their stack limit is greater than 1. If slot 1.item slot .item data equals slot 2.item slot .item data and items slot 1 item slot item data dot stack limit is greater than 1, then we can just handle migrating the quantity of stack 1 into stack 2. Is that right? Because I think slot 2 is the destination slot and slot 1 is the source slot. So yeah, we want to migrate the contents of slot 1 into slot 2. And then we just we return. We don't do anything else in this function. Right? Oh, we have to adjust the collectible component? I think first we have to verify that these exist. If slot 1 dot item slot dot item data. Because it's possible that this slot is null. Oh, what a gnarly if statement. Is formatting right there? Wasn't there a way to have the if statement be structured like this? Using either parentheses or as backslash. Oh, I have to put them in parentheses. I can do that. We've done it. All right. If this is the case, we don't need to do anything else. We just need to get the item slots, the thing, the name of the thing, stack quantity. Var I'm assuming that slot 2 is the destination. Stack quantity. What's the word? Give? Looseness? How much more we can take? How much more can slot 2 take? What's a word for that? Slack? Stack slack? Slot to dot item slot dot stack quantity minus slot to dot item slot dot item data dot stack limit. So we should reverse those. If the limit, if stat slot to stack slack is greater than slot one dot item slot dot stack quantity, we have enough room. Shove everything in the slot to item slot dot stack quantity plus equals slot one dot item slot dot stack quantity. Slot one dot item slot dot delete item. Queue free? What's the... Do I not have a queue free function? Is that a problem? I know I have some items that delete themselves, but how have they been doing that? Health potion. What? Oh, inventory command is still bugged up. All right, and then return. We're done. Else. Stack limit, and then we're done. Either all of slot 1 fits into slot 2, in which case do that and then delete yourself, or it doesn't, in which case fit as much as you can, then slot 2 is full, and then we're done. Great. What this means is we should be able to shove a lot of coins into one particular spot. So I need to spawn a lot of coins. And let me make the stat limit for coins like 5. Just to test. I have it set to 255. Let's make it 5. And then let's go to the world and let's add a bunch of coins so that we can test whether this works or not. Dun, 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 dun. All right, they don't stack yet on pickup, but this should stack them. Well, that's not right. All right, I need a way to see what the stack size is. So let's go to the item. Stack size 1. Stack size 2. How did we get here? How did this happen? Oh. It's an off by 1. If the stack slack is greater than or equal to. All right. Look at that. The stack size is correct. Okay, I don't want to have to press look to see the stack size. I want that to be apparent immediately on the UI. So we need to go to the UI inventory point. UI inventory slot. I'm running out of steam, so I might just put this on ice. But let me leave it to do for myself. Add item stack number to UI. To do add item stack behavior on get item. That should be it to implement this feature. And then item splitting, we'll need to make a new command. Split. We'll need to add that to the RCM. Meh. I think I don't. I don't know, like, just thinking off the top of my head, like, if you're the player and you want to split an item, what's the best interface for that? So if I have a right-click menu and I have the split option, you click it. Should it just make 2 items each with half of the original stack? Or should I have something pop up with a little slider bar? Ooh. Oh, this is going to get complicated fast. But I think I do need that UI to be able to let the player say exactly how much they want to split the stack by. And then just default it to half. Yeah. That could be a whole stream, just implementing that UI. Oh well. So I've left myself a lot of to-dos, but we're making progress. Less progress than I'd like. I wish we had more time. There's not much left of the month. I wish I was faster and better at programming. Obviously, everyone wishes that. We don't necessarily have much left that we need to build out from scratch. Like this walking hazard, we already have a component for areas. Pretty sure we do. One of these is a component. Collidable component. That sounds right. It's an area 2D. Yeah. We already have this. So we just give our hazard, which can be a mechanism, a collidable component. And then, well, however function we have this set up, it is not... It's something that we've done before with pressure plates. So we just, instead of pressure plate opening a thing, we have pressure plate, whoever stepped on me, do 10 damage to them. Done. Ranged weapons and ammo, we actually already have a range component in our combat component. And ammo, once we have stackable behavior, ammo should be very easy to implement. Add mob that creates walking hazards. That's easy too once we have the walking hazard already implemented. Some of these are pretty big though. Like add a GUI, add a targeting GUI, add a context menu GUI. GUI. What I might do, because for a few of these I've said, I can push this off to stage 3. I might just say, this can go to stage 3. We might just end up cutting some features. Or not cutting them, delaying features. Just to get stage 2 wrapped up. Because what I don't want to have happen is I end up in stage 2 at the end of July. Because then I'll just quit. I'm going to stop developing if... I'm going to lose all motivation and stop developing if that happens. So... all right. So I'm going to do a lot of this offline. And then next time we'll finish implementing this. Maybe we'll implement this. I might try and shoot for a long stream this weekend so that I can do this and then this and then this and this. And if I get all that done, and this too. And if I get all that done, that'll be satisfying. A satisfying chunk of progress. Oh, made it back? Nope, I'm out of here. This is it. This is the end. I have set a path for my future self. I'll be streaming this weekend. I'm hoping both days, but at least one day. And well, let's make some progress on this. If I can get this down to a page by the weekend, I'll be very happy with that. And if I can't, then I will just accept. Anyway, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hope this was fun. Hope your game dev is going well. Hope you're playing lots of fun games. See you all later.